I just laugh. He good, man.
He can do everything on the floor.
And it's fired up. You know me just because I'm the biggest, the largest, the biggest, the largest.
What a matchup we have tonight in Denver, especially since the three-time MVP Nikola Jokic is playing the best basketball of his career, and I mean that literally. Over the past week, he's averaging 30 points, 17 boards, 13 assists, and Michael Malone had some things to say about that, made his case here.
My thing is this, if you didn't know that Nikola won 3 MVPs, and I put player A and player B on paper, and you had no idea that the guy who's averaging a triple-double, the guy who's top 3 in the 3 major statistical categories, things that no one's ever done, he wins the MVP 10 times out of 10. And if you don't think so, I think you guys are all full of
Says it with a smile on his face, but is he making a valid point, Windy?
So what's raised eyebrows in Denver in the last couple of days was what Jokic said, where he said, "I've never played better in my career than I am now." That was interpreted as him lobbying. He's never done anything close to that.
Right.
But his lift this season has never been bigger. And I think he shined a little bit of a light on himself. And I think we should take notice of that.
I've never played better is as much of a lobby for MVP as you're ever going to hear from Nikola Jokic. But as of tomorrow, we're officially 1 month away from the end of the regular season. And here's how the playoff picture looks in the West right now. Perk, when you're looking at Denver, what stands out to you?
Well, look, it's the others. We know how great of a player that Jokic is, right? But they want to get in that conversation of being legit title contenders and actually trying to bring another championship back to Denver. It's going to be the others. It's going to be Russell Westbrook. It's going to be Christian Brown. It's going to be Aaron Gordon. It's going to be those guys in their three-point shooting. Over their last 10 wins, the Nuggets have shot 44% from the three-point line, right? And teams are going to play them where they're going to load the paint, they're going to double Jokic, and they're going to have to make shots. Jokic had an historic night, 3 or 4 games ago when he had the 30, 20, 20, and he had 20-plus assists. The reason he had those 20-plus assists is because guys were knocking down shots. In order for Denver to make a deep run, try to go win the championship, those others are going to have to be able to hit shots from the three-point line on a consistent basis.
How about the team on the other side tonight? Maybe not as much paid attention to the fact that the Wolves have won 5 in a row. They've gotten healthy. They were missing 3 starters as little as 2 weeks ago. They've gotten this win streak. And when Julius Randle plays, and he is in the lineup tonight, they've won their last 10. And here's what I want to point out. They are indeed in 7th place. They're in the play-in right now. But it's kind of opening up for them, guys. They have the easiest schedule left of all the Western teams. No LeBron, no Jaren Jackson Jr., no Amen Thompson, Fred VanVleet coming off an injury. The Warriors, Kuminga's been out. Look at what they've got. And they've got a 5-game homestand coming up. Look, they're a few games back here. I'm not saying they're getting up to 3-4, but the path is open for them to make a run.
And what have we always said? They need to be healthy and they need to have a little bit of a runway to be able to gel. Gobert back after a month, even though he's questionable for this one. They finally have that runway here. But they're going to have to keep the pace. I'm Malika Andrews. And Kendrick, I try usually not to wear the team colors of the teams that we're covering so that I don't appear one way or the other. But I dressed up today because we need to call this the Perk Bowl. We have OKC versus Boston. And you played over 700 games, made 3 NBA Finals with these 2 franchises.
Did I?
Yes, you did, sir. This time around, though, it's
made a lot of money, too.
A little bit different, though. There's a lot of basketball left this season, Perk, but it feels like the Thunder and Celtics, they're on a collision course to play for a championship in June. After all, the Thunder, they've dominated throughout the regular season. They've won 42 games by at least 10 points. That is the most by any team through their first 65 games in a season in NBA history. Despite holding an 11-game lead in the West, tonight will serve as a great test for OKC. They face the only other team in the league to rank top 5 in both offense and defensive efficiency this season, and that certainly plays a role in the odds makers seeing these teams facing off again in June. ESPN Bet Sportsbook has the Thunder and the Celtics as the most likely NBA Finals matchup. They're the favorites to win their conferences. So, Wendy, all signs point to this being a potential Finals preview. That's what the odds makers say. I care what you say.
Well, this is the third showcase game the Celtics have had in Boston in the last 2 weeks. You had the Cavs come in a couple weeks ago. We saw Jason Tatum put up 46 in that game. Oof. They ended up blowing a big lead. Donovan Mitchell ended up being the hero. Over the weekend, the Lakers were in town. Jason Tatum with another 40-point game. So what does he have in store today against Shai Gilgeous-Alexander? Now, I should point out, Shai has an amazing streak going. 59 consecutive games of at least 20 points or more. I don't know if that's going to get broken tonight, but I don't think the Celtics are going to want to let him get up to 40. Because without Jalen Williams in this game, I expect Boston at some point to go to double teams like we saw with the Denver Nuggets earlier this week when they beat the Thunder. And I expect them to force somebody else besides Shai to try to beat them tonight.
By the way, that streak that Shai has of 59 straight 20-point games, it's the longest since Kevin Durant in 2015-16, Perk.
Look, we could see these two teams in the finals, but let's live in the moment.
Okay,
all right,
I like
the moment is it's one of them. This is one of these games for SGA when it comes down to MVPs. He's been great 2 consecutive seasons, averaging over 30, shooting over 50% from the field. He's been Prince. He's been that great. Purple Rain, right? 25 million copies. But damn it, tonight I need him to start something different. The stage is set. I need him to be Michael Jackson. I need him to drop Thriller tonight. 70 million copies, right? To set the bar and get some separation from Jokic, because Jokic is on his heels when it comes down to MVP. Tonight you're going against the defending champs that have been playing some great basketball. Jason Tatum, who's probably in the MVP conversation, his home court, and now you got a chance to make a statement. No J-Dub, you got to stand on business.
Do you know how to do the Thriller? Can you do the Thriller?
I'll show you later.
Okay. You mentioned no J-Dub. We know, though, no matter how dominant a team looks in the regular season, to get to the finals, right, Perk, you're going to need health on your side. So for the latest, let's bring in our senior insider, Shams Charania, beaming in from Chicago. Shams, Kristaps Porzingis, he's missed the last 6 games here for Boston. What more can you tell us about when he could potentially return to the floor?
Malika, the Celtics are really taking it day by day with Kristaps Porzingis and this viral illness that he has. They don't quite know when he's going to return. And honestly, they don't quite know exactly what has led to this viral illness. They're still trying to get to the bottom of what exactly this is. But I am told they hope to have some medical answers here in the next couple of days to see exactly what this is and when he could return to the floor.
Of course, we've seen him warming up ahead of some games, but just hasn't been able to play. Again, this will be his 7th game missed here. I do want to shift to the Thunder side of this. Jalen Williams has been ruled out for tonight's game because of a hip strain, which sounds a little bit painful. What can you tell us about his status here, Shams?
Yeah, Jalen Williams is not expected to miss an extended period of time. He stayed back in Oklahoma City to continue rehab and start the return process from that hip strain. There is optimism, Malika, that he will be back here relatively soon, which is really good news for the Oklahoma City Thunder for their all-star forward.
Absolutely. Back sooner rather than later. Hopefully same with you, Shams. Thank you so very much for giving us those updates here on NBA Countdown. But J-Dub has done sort of everything, Brian. At different points, he was playing center for Oklahoma City this year. This is only going to be the 5th game the Thunder have been without him all season long. How do they overcome not having him?
As soon as they announced yesterday he wasn't making the trip to Boston, the Celtics absolutely downshifted their game plan into keeping the ball away from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I mentioned on Monday this is what Denver did in the second half when he was out. That is the way you deal with this force that is Shai.